Fiat Panda! Whether you love them or you hate them, there's no denying the Fiat Panda 141 is an iconic little car. In this video, we're going to see how the Panda actually came about. Fiat actually wanted a replacement for the 126, which had been in production since 1972. Over its lifetime, 4,673,655 was sold, and incredibly, they were still in production right up to the year 2000. The majority of the 126s, over 3.3 million, were actually made in Poland. They were branded as the Polski Fiat 126P, and then they became called the Polski 126 Maluch. Now Maluch in Polish means the little one or toddler, and they were actually branded that badge on the back of the car. So then the Fiat Panda was born. It was launched to the press in 1979 and released to the public in 1980. The first Fiat Panda mixed the conventional and the clever with spectacular ease. In many ways, this front-engined, front-wheel drive hatchback was a normal package, despite having a departure from Fiat's other small cars with the rear-engined Fiat 500 and the Fiat 126. Its boxy styling, utilitarian dashboard, hammock-like seats and almost aggressive simplicity were new and exciting. Originally intended to be called the Rustica, the Panda name was brought in at the last minute in honour of Panda, the Roman goddess of travellers. Now I've looked this up. She is also the Roman goddess of chivalry and amongst other things. The lack of resemblance to a fluffy black and white bear isn't just a charming quirk. If you think a panda looks like a little black and white bear, that's fair enough with me. The first generation Panda, the Mark I from 1980 to 1986, and then it became the Mark II 86 to 2003, was a three-door hatchback designed by Giorgetto Giugiaro and Aldo Montano, both from Ital Design. And it was manufactured all the way through till 2003, although stopped in the UK in 1995. There was an all-wheel drive variant in 1983. Seat of Spain marketed a variation of the first generation Panda under licence to Fiat, initially known as the Panda and subsequently as the Marbella, 1986 to 1998. Fiat CEO's Carlo De Benedetti's design brief specified a straightforward container with a spacious and Spartan interior, weighing and costing no more than the Fiat 126 it was replacing, and having a similar design approach of the 2CV and the Renault 4. Now, in the same sort of design brief as the 2CV, which was designed to carry up to four people and a basket of eggs across a ploughed field without breaking an egg, the Fiat Panda was conceived so that the Panda's cargo area should accommodate no less than two 50-litre wine demijohns, along with a full complement of passengers. From its inception, the project would use monocoque construction and a nearly flat floor and a sufficiently high roof to accommodate upright seating. Following the brief of creating a straightforward, practical design in the vein of the 2CV and the Renault 4, Ital Design's work highlighted utilitarian practicality throughout the design. Mechanically, the first Pandas shared engines and transmissions with the Fiat 127, and in certain territories the air-cooled 652cc two-cylinder power plant of the Fiat 126. Rear suspension used a solid axle suspended on leaf springs. Later versions added mechanical improvements while retaining a robust simplicity throughout its model life. A 5-speed gearbox came about in 1983, while a facelift in 86 brought a new grille and updated engines. One trim level that proved to be enduring was the 4x4. A combination of a flyweight body and a four-wheel drive system made the Panda 4x4 amazingly capable, and it found favour as much among farmers as it did of those who found it cute. The Hobbit being one of them. The Panda 4x4 was launched in June 1983, powered by a 965cc engine with 48 horsepower. That was derived from the Auto Bianchi A112 or a Fiat 100 series engine. Known simply as the Panda 4x4, this model was the first small transverse engine production car to have a four-wheel drive system. The system itself was manually selectable with an ultra-low first gear. Under normal on-road conditions, starting from second was the norm, with the fifth gear having the same ratio as the fourth on a normal Panda. Austrian company Steyr supplied the entire drivetrain, clutch, gearbox, power takeoff, three-piece prop shaft, rear live axle, including the differential and the brakes. In January 86, the Panda received visual and mechanical revisions, with many Mark I and Mark II Panda parts incompatible. The Mark II version was internally designated then as the 141A. The 652cc air-cooled two-cylinder engine was replaced by a 769 water-cooled four-cylinder unit, and the 903 and 965cc by the 999cc. Both new engines were from Fiat's new Fire family of four-cylinder water-cooled power plants with a single overhead camshaft. The rear suspension was also upgraded. The rigid axle with leaf springs has been replaced by a more modern dependent suspension system known as the Omega axle, consisting of a non-straight rigid axle with a central mounting and coil springs, first seen on the Lancia 110, which used the same platform as the Panda. The 4x4 retained the leaf spring live axle setup. The body was strengthened and fully galvanised on later models. Rear quarter panels received wheel arches mirroring the front fender, front wheel arches. Front door quarter windows were eliminated, and the range included the 750L, the 750CL, the 750S, the 1000CL, the 1000S and the 4x4. April 86 saw the introduction of a 1301cc diesel engine with a whopping 37 horsepower. This was the detuned version of the Brazilian engine also used in the 127 and the Uno. Fitted as standard with a 5-speed gearbox, it was only available in the basic L trim and was available up until 1989. If you got the van version of the Panda, you could have had that up till 94. The two-seat Panda Elettra, introduced in 1990, added an all-electric powertrain to the line. Batteries replaced the rear seats and occupied some of the engine bay, where the 19 horsepower, whopping 19 horsepower, DC motor was fitted, driving through the normal clutch and gearbox. The weight increased to 1,150 kilograms, 450 kilograms heavier than a normal Panda. This necessitated stiffer suspension and upgraded brakes. 1992 revisions to the Elettra saw the power increase to 23.8 horsepower and the weight reduced. Though the Elettra remained significantly heavier than the standard Panda, this and the steep price, almost 3 times the price of a normal Panda, made it a commercial failure, and the Elettra was discontinued in 1998. If you want to see more Panda content on this channel, do hit that subscribe button. There'll be more videos coming along. We've got the Fiat Panda 4x4 up in the workshop. There's going to be some repairs going on, and if you enjoy Panda content, do please follow this channel for more. In 1995, after 14 years of sale in the UK, more than 160,000 units had been sold. First generation Panda was discontinued. Other markets kept hold of it until 2003, when its replacement arrived. During its production run from 1980 to 2003, 4,491,000 units were sold. The Panda was discontinued in the UK in 1995. The car remained in production in Italy until the final car was produced on the 5th of September 2003. Its total production run of 23 years make the Fiat Panda one of Europe's longest lived small cars. Spanish carmaker Seat also produced a version of the Panda between 1980 and 1986. Based on the first Panda model, it was called the Seat Panda. Up until 1983, Seat made rebadged versions of Fiat cars through a license agreement between the two firms. Thus, there existed a Spanish version of the Panda. After Fiat sold their share in Seat and the license agreement ended, the whole Fiat-based line of Seat cars was quickly given minor facelifts. The Seat Panda had its bonnet, bumpers and rear tailgate redesigned. From 1986, when it received a second facelift, it was known as the Seat Marbella until the end of production in 1998. Imelba also produced a roofless version called the Pandita, which was popular as a rental car in resort areas. As Fiat and Seat's licensing agreement expired in 1986, the Marbella never received the major mechanical upgrades of the facelifted Panda, instead continuing with the old pushrod Fiat-based engines, quarter-light doors, ungalvanised frame and leaf-sprung suspension. It was, however, popular in Spain throughout its production life, but was less popular on export markets where the Fiat version was the firm favourite. By 1996, exports had mostly finished. So there's a bit on the history of the Panda. Cracking little car, basic, everybody's favourite. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.